Hello BookTube. I've got a different video for you today. I'm going to be showing you my vinyl collection. And I thought I'd do something different because why not? I know I mostly talk about books, but we could talk about other stuff sometimes. Okay, so I have a massive tub on the floor and I'm going to be pulling from that. But before I start on the main records, I've got to show you some ones I've been playing recently. So some of them include Oscar Peterson, solo tracks. Oscar Peterson's a jazz piano player. He is one of my favorites. He's lovely and one of the greats of jazz piano. So if you ever see any Oscar Peterson, pick him up because he is lovely. Another record I've been listening to is Linda Ronstadt. You may know her for her country rock era in the 70s, but she also done the songbooks in the 80s. And this is the first one, What's New. This also has Nelson Riddle on it, who done the Frank Sinatra albums in the 50s. But Linda's got such a stunning voice. And if you see it again, check it out. We're going to see, there's going to be a lot of copycats throughout in terms of some artists that appear here are going to appear here later. But anyway, Edith Piaf, again, one of the greatest singers ever. Love her. I don't speak French, so I have no clue what she's saying, but I just assume that it's lovely and romantic. And we got an Edith Piaf greatest hits, pretty much. What else do we have here? We have, I'll grab these for you. Next is Peggy Lee, Black Coffee, a classic album. We love Peggy Lee. She's so cool. You may know her for her song Fever, but Black Coffee, the song itself. I've got Joy Under My Skin, Easy Living, iconic jazz standards, and Peggy Lee does them amazingly. And then after that, what do we have here? Okay, we have Only the Lonely by Frank Sinatra. This is one of his 50 ones, iconic. I'm more of a fan of Sinatra when he does ballads in particular. But yeah, Only the Lonely. I have this on CD as well. Iconic album. Love it so much. And the same as Where Are You? I've been listening to this album literally nearly every night when I read. I love it. Oh my god, the standards are just so beautiful. And it's not actually a track list here, but yeah, listen to this album if you haven't. Frank Sinatra is pretty cool. Okay, so now to the main stuff. So you're going to see me reaching down a bit, just so I can reach, get them. But first off the bat, we're going to have a bit of a jump from the albums I've just showed you. But we have, and excuse the dust on these because they've been in my wardrobe for a bit, but Kylie Minogue's first album. I love Kylie Minogue, of course. This is her first album. Songs like I Should Be So Lucky, The Locomotion, Got to Be Certain, iconic, bit relatable, and probably one of my more favorite Kylie albums. That and Body Language and Impossible Princess, and Andrews Sisters, greatest hits. I love the Andrews Sisters, iconic. We love them. I don't need to say anything more. Then we're gonna get some country. The Martha Tapes by Miranda Lambert, John Randall, and Jack Ingram, and Miranda Lambert's I'll hold it this way. She's a country music singer. She's been around for, 20 years now. She's an amazing songwriter in her own right. Many hits. And John Randall and Jack Ingram also write songs of her. And this is just pretty much imagine three great songwriters singing around a campfire. And they just recorded it with mistakes and all. And it's a lovely live album. And you open it and it's just them performing in Martha, a place where, in the South, I think. I'm not actually sure. Next, Courtney Marie Andrews, May Your Kindness Remain. Iconic. We love Courtney Marie. Indie country. We love her. We love that. Next, an iconic queen diva of an album. And it is Miranda Lambert, The Weight of His Wings. Probably one of the greatest divorce albums you can get. It's a double album, so you can see all the tracks, and if you open it, it's pretty big. Whoops, I don't think I can, but oh my god, I don't think I can do it. I'm gonna try. But yeah, open. If I move it here, There you go. And it's a divorce album. The first side of this album, The Nerve, is so iconic and scarring and hits way too close to home. It's very lonely. And if you ever want to get in your feelings, listen to the first half of this album. The second side of the album, The Hearts, doesn't do as much for me. Besides iconic divas like Tin Man, Things That Break, Well Rested, and yeah, iconic album. I grew up with this album. I don't know what it says about me, but you know, classic. Next, what do we have? Looking next, we got some more old school country records. We have Jean Shepherd. Oh, I'll hold this. Oh. I'm trying to get the angles right. We got Jean Shepherd, and this is Songs of a Love Affair. Iconic country. Don't know these, pick them up. You'll find them at an op shop somewhere. She's an amazing singer, and we love her. Next, we have Connie Smith. She was a pop country singer in the 60s. She pretty much only had one major hit, Once a Day, but I think she made 3 iconic country pop albums of the time. Here's Connie Smith, Cute in Country. And then her third album, I think it is, Miss Smith Goes to Nashville. And I love Connie Smith. I loved her my whole life. I love American country music, even though I'm not from America. I just love it so much. Whenever I see any of them, I get my hands on them. So let me put these back. Okay, who's next? Okay. We have Glen Campbell, Wichita Lineman. What do I need to say? It's Glen Campbell, buy it. And also, we'll get to this when I show you my CDs, but I love Bobby Gentry. She is one of my favourite musicians ever. And her duet album with Glen Campbell, like, look at this outfits that they're wearing. Like, it's iconic. Look at that blue, his turtleneck, and yeah, just gorgeous, amazing album. Songs like Little Green Apples, Heart to Heart Talk, My Elusive Dreams. Oh my god, their cover of Let It Be Me is so beautiful, and I love it so much. And so yeah, definitely one of my all-time favorite albums. Recommend, pick it up, listen to it. It's so iconic and lovely. Okay, who do we have next? Okay, next we have a lot. We have Willie Nelson. I love Willie Nelson. He's one of my favorites ever. You know, King, we love Willie. And yeah, we have a lot. So we have Shotgun Willie, a classic 70s country. If you don't know it, pick it up. Iconic. Whiskey River, Sad Songs and Waltzes, The Local Memory, Stay All Night, Devil in His Sleeping Bag, and iconic. Pick this up. Amazing. Then we have Phases and Stages, one of the greatest country albums ever. Sorry, that hair is sticking out and I see it and it annoys me every time. But Phases and Stages, iconic, one of my favorite records ever. Then we have Red-Headed Stranger, probably his most famous album, iconic, Diva. Stardust, and this is him doing his pop standards. Look how happy he is with his top hat. Then we have his live album, Willie and the Family Live. You can see all of them together there. It doesn't have a gatefold. There you go. Sorry, try not to get the light. That. Then we have Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which is more traditional standards. So that's Willie. And I have a bit more of him on CD, which I'll get to at some point. Linda Ronstadt, Simple Dreams. This is the album you'd probably know from her the most. This has It's So Easy, Carmelita, I Will Never Marry, Blue Bayou, Poor Poor Pitiful Me, iconic jams of its era. Yeah, it's a really nice country rock album. And she's just such an incredible singer as well. Next, Fleetwood Mac. We have Tusk, Diva, Weird. It's a long hour and 15 minutes. I don't have Rumours. I have it on CD, but I've always loved Tusk. It's weird. It's out there and experimental, and like it nearly killed the band, but like, you know, we love Tusk. It's a diva. Anyway, I'll put this back. Who's next? We have... Okay, this is a fun one. We have Coven. Witchcraft destroys minds and reaps souls. And this is pre-Black Sabbath metal. And it's this metal is like you can get in the late 60s. Like it's more like the Doors, where it's like more piano, organ driven. But yeah, if you don't know Coven, they're really popular. They're really important to rock music, pretty much. They were just that bit too ahead of their time to get any recognition. But yeah, very satanic. Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan's on this album. He done a 13-minute church sermon at the end of this album. And so probably see why people didn't like it back in the day. But you open it and look, it's all of them doing the devil sign. Iconic. And I love this album so much. Jinx Dawson, who's the lead singer, is genuinely incredible. Her vocals are amazing. And I know they released like 2 more albums, but they aren't as good as their debut here. And I wish that they tapped into that more, but I think they were a bit too risky and ahead of their time to really do anything else. And after that, we're entering the rock era. We have Patti Smith, Horses, iconic, everyone knows this album, and Radio Euphoria. What I need to say about Patti Smith, we adore Patti. I don't have Easter or Wave from the 70s, but I love Patti. She's so cool. Now we're getting into some of my favourites ever. Joni Mitchell, Court and Spark. What do I need to say? It's Joni Mitchell. She's genuinely one of my favourite artists. I love her late 70s fusion stuff, but this is just before she went into that era, and it's iconic. We love Joni Mitchell. I would murder for Joni Mitchell. She is, anyway, Joni, we love her. Then we have Deep Purple, Machine Head. I love Deep Purple. They're probably my favourite rock band. Classic. What do we need to say? Smoke on the Water, Space Truckin', Highway Stars on this album. Iconic. And I love all their albums from the Mark II lineup. I have all of them on CD, including this. But you can't go wrong with Machine Head. It's a classic album that everyone who loves rock music really should have. Next, okay, this is a bit wild, but this is probably my favorite album of all time, and I seriously mean it. I know people are gonna laugh, but I know this album word for word. I could listen to it, like if I was on a desert island, don't send me supplies, send me this album and I'll be happy. And that's Bat Outta Hell by Meatloaf. Y'all, I love this album. Word for word, I adore it. Meatloaf is one of the greatest rock singers ever. And Jim Steinman, as a songwriter, as a composer, is genuinely one of the greatest pop music has ever seen. Like, as in terms of creativity, in terms of just theatrical presence and conviction. And yeah, so we have Bat Outta Hell. And then the sequel, Dead Ringer for Love, which didn't do as well. But, songs like I Will Kill You If You Don't Come Back, and the song Dead Ringer for Love with Cher. Diva, we love her. The fact that song didn't do well makes me really upsetty. But anyway, Bat Outta Hell is genuinely my favourite album of all time. I could listen to that whenever. Susie Cutro, Can the Can. For anyone that wants to know. Susie, we love her. We have Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. Again, another classic album. We have who else we have? Got Jim Steinman. So again, who wrote all the songs from Meatloaf's Bat Outta Hell. He done a solo album in between Bat Outta Hell, the album, and Dead Ringer coming out, because the recording process went so bad and got scrapped so many times. Like, I'm just going to sing some of these songs my own. And yeah, it's not really a novelty, but song Dance in My Pants is, I love that song to death, and I don't know all the words to it, and I'm not ashamed. Okay, now we hit the Frank Sinatra part of my records. I have a lot of his albums. I've just collected them over time. So I'm going to pick a handful. Again, I love these. Come Swing With Me, iconic. Ring a Ding Ding, we love. We have Come Dance With Me. And I've just picked all of these up secondhand over time. Yeah, it's all ones I showed you here, so I've grabbed some more. I've got a lot more to do. Well, not that many. But then we also have A Swingin' Affair, Songs for Swingin' Lovers. Again, everyone knows this one. And A Swing Easy. I don't have some of these like in the wee small hours just yet. I need to hunt them down. But when I do get them, I'll be very happy. Now we hit the jazz section. I'll grab 4 out at a time. Okay, we have Ella Fitzgerald. This is one of her songbooks. Ella sings George and Ira Gershwin with Nelson Riddle. S. Wonderful, The Man I Love, A Certain Feeling. Again, someone to watch over me. Like, amazing. I love her live albums more than her studios because I feel like that's where you get the full Ella experience. But we love Ella. Then we have Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross song The Swingers, iconic album of the time, vocal jazz. Then we have Tony Bennett, A Greatest Hits. Tony Bennett's one of my favorite singers ever. I love his work with Bill Evans. I have that on CD, but I'll show you that another time. And then next one is Dave Brubeck Quartet, live at Newport, 1958. And again, I love jazz, as this shows on my collection. Who's next? I'll pick a handful out. Okay. We have Julie London. This is one of her lesser albums. I have a greatest hits, but this one is a bit too overproduced for me. Doesn't reflect more like the more intimate style that Julie is her best at doing. But I have it just because I didn't own any Julie London, and I love Julie London. George Benson, Blue Benson, iconic jazz guitar. Pick it up if you haven't heard it. Also his album, Weekend in LA, iconic. I love this album so much. Then we have Duke Ellington, The Great Paris Concert. And yeah, that's the only Duke I have actually. I need to pick up more Duke when I see him. Who's next? Okay, we're hitting the last of the jazz albums. We have some fusion. We have Jacko's debut. Jacko Pastorius, the bass player who also worked with Joni Mitchell, and Weather Report. Iconic. What do I need to say about this album? His version of Donna Lee, Portrait of Tracy, and Come On Over. Iconic diva. We love his bass sound here. We also have Romantic Warrior, Return to Forever. Again, jazz fusion. Amazing album. This album always reminds me of Don Quixote because when I first read it, I put this album on loop when I was listening to it. So a song like The Romantic Warrior will always be connected to that book, and I love that personally. Then one of my favorite live albums ever, Oscar Peterson and Joe Pass live. This is a double album, and again, two of the greatest solo jazz musicians ever working together. And if you ever need to, just listen. That's all I'm gonna say. Just get up on Spotify or whatever, or find it secondhand, and listen to it. So now we hit the classical stuff. I'm always on the hunt for classical music, and I try my best to find a lot of it because it's everywhere. But we have the Essential Classics. This is just an orchestra doing. I actually don't know. Yeah, it's just the world's greatest orchestra. Like, it's a collection of different orchestras doing famous classical pieces. We have the very best of Beethoven. Oh, the record's slipping out. We have Beethoven, Symphony No. 6, Pastoral. We have more Beethoven, Moonlight, the piano sonatas. So I think this is just a Moonlight Sonata. Yeah, right there. Again, if I want classical music, I always go for it on CD just because I get full performances and not just parts of it on record. But we have Beethoven Symphony Number 3 Erotica. We have more Beethoven. It's hard because I think just another Moonlight Sonata, but I can't understand the language because I don't speak German. And yeah. We have more Beethoven Symphony Number 5 in C minor. Yeah. We've got more classic records here. We have Bach's organ music. Oh, that's a bit right. Organ music. Brahms violin concertos. We love that. More Brahms Symphony Number 3. We have again Brahms Symphony Number 4. Schubert's Fantasy in C major and Fantasia in F minor. We have Chopin the 14 waltzes. Sorry if I butcher these names. Then we have Daniel Barenboim, who I love. His Bach's Well Tempered Claviers and his Beethoven. Oh my god, I actually forgot the names of them. I'm so sorry. Piano sonatas are some of the greatest piano playing I've ever heard in my life. And this is him doing. Actually, don't know. I'm so sorry. Camille Saint-Saëns. I'm actually not sure. I'm sorry. Got Tchaikovsky. This is Piano Concerto Number 1 in B flat major. We have Mozart Horn Consorts. I don't know that one. Handel's Messiah. We all know that one. Iconic. Antonio Valverdini. I can't word today. The Four Seasons. And yeah, that's the end of my classicals I have on record. Now we do have some more on the side of my box, and these are some of my favorite records ever. Like, I would keep these out. I'm going to keep these ones for life, literally. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Lingua Ignota, or her real name Kristen Hayter. And I love her music to death so much. She's one of my favorites. She does make experimental music, and if you don't like to hear about domestic violence, because her music's very much themed around that, and religion and fear, and the cathartic energy in that, and if you don't like to hear about that, maybe don't check her out. But this is her debut, Let the Evil of His Own Lips Cover Him. We love this diva. I love her so much. She's one of the greatest singers I think I've ever heard. Then we have a second album, All Bitches Die. Woe to All is probably one of her most, like, if you want to hear how guttural her screams can really be, check out that. All Bitches Die. For I Am the Light, she says a really lovely prayer, and we love prayers. Then the real crowning achievement in her catalogue, and the master, like, classic album, Caligula. This is probably her most emotionally intense album. I've always recommended, I love her so much, but I know she's not for everyone. If you want to get a taste of her, listen to her song, Do You Doubt Me, Traitor, and see if you like that. But her vocals on this album are so beautiful, intense, and just human and raw, and I love her so much. Then we have her second most recent album, Sinner Get Ready. And this is her doing her less screamy vocals that she kind of stopped with Caligula. And she went to more Christian music with more Appalachian-based instruments. And again, songs like I Who Bend the Tall Grass and Many Hands terrify me, but I know them word for word and I love them so much. Then her most recent album, she changed her stage name and now goes by Reverend Crystal Michael Hayter, and she done Saved, which is her doing traditional Christian songs with also throwing in a few songs she's written. She does what'd she write? She does covers of There Is Power in the Blood, Aduima, Precious Lord Take My Hand, The Poor Warfarin Stranger, Nothing But the Blood, and How Can I Keep From Singing, where she speaks in tongues, and it's terrifying, but I love it so much. And then the last person I want to show in this vinyl wrap up is probably my favorite singer-songwriter ever. I don't own, there's one album by Missing from her that I don't think's ever been pressed on vinyl, but I love her so much. If you get anything from this channel, please check out Lori McKenna, because Lori is the greatest songwriter working alive. She makes me cry, and in like a good way. Her album Lorraine, which I have on CD, is genuinely one of the greatest albums I've ever heard. It's so vulnerable and it's so beautiful, and I can't even put into words how much that album really means to me. And it's stunning. But I have some other great albums she's done, like the iconic Bird and the Rifle. Songs like Wreck You, The Bird and the Rifle, We Were Cool, always brings a tear. It's such a beautiful song. And If Whiskey Were a Woman, iconic, classic standards that I will always never forget. Then we have her, The Tree, A Mother Never Rests, The Fixer, again, People Get Old, Young and Angry again. I fucking love that song so much. Well, The Lot Behind St. Mary's, oh my god, check that out. It's emotional, but it's beautiful. Then we have The Balladina, and her song Marie is amazing. And also, if you have kids, listen to When You're My Age, and you'll see it's very emotional. Then I have her latest album, 1988, and the songs on here you'd like, 1988, Wonder Drug, The Town in Your Heart. We love Lori McKenna, and that's who I decided I'm going to end my vinyl showcase off to you guys. So that's all the vinyls I have. And yeah, if you have any comments on any of these records, please put them below. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. It's been nearly half an hour, but yeah, thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. Thank you, BookTube.